Hello, hello, Gemini. Welcome to your November 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Gemini. And before we get started, I just want you to know that 2020 readings are going to be coming out early December. If you want notifications for all of the good stuff that I have coming out over the next few months, make sure you sign up for my newsletter. I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on and that I'll be sharing with you over that time. So make sure you sign up for that. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram if you'd like more content at Onyx Healing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's do this. So first thing coming up with your oracle cards, ideas, action, creation, prosperity. So this is basically the bullet points of this is how you actually get to prosperity. You have an idea, you take the action, that leads to creation, and then you are led to prosperity. So the more that you can get in tune with what your ideas are, taking action on those, and then seeing where that leads you is going to be the best course of action this month. And then we have self-love. Make sure that you are taking really good care of yourself this month and that you're not neglecting the self-care. Anytime you are either working on something really big or you have a lot going on, it's super easy to just get caught up in that and then want to basically put yourself on the back burner. That's not going to work this month. So make sure that you're on top of this, you're taking care of it, and you're focusing on how can I give to myself today, and then just being consistent with that day after day. And then we have communicate, clarify others' intentions, demonstrate your values, remember that your words create your reality. Yeah, so pay attention to what are you thinking, what are you saying, how are you feeling? All of those things are going to give you an indication as to what you're creating. And the good news is that those are adjustable and fixable. So sometimes starting with just the words that are coming out of your mouth is the easiest thing to start with. Okay, so this spread is way different than what I normally do. I have past, present, future. These are oracle cards. And then your outer world, your inner world, and there's no timeline this month. So in the past position, we have finding balance. That's something that you were either working on or maybe you did figure out a way to weave in a little bit more balance and equilibrium into your life. But regardless, this is just highlighting here that was essentially the task at hand. So let's see what's going on in the present moment. I'm connected to the earth. Focus on grounding. This is going to be a great way to self-care as well. What are you feeling really connected to? What are you feeling really supported and nourished by? Make sure that I'd recommend making that a consistent practice if you can. And then the future position, we have release. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. As you get in touch with what you're connected to, getting connected to yourself, honoring yourself, it's going to put you in a position where you feel clear and ready to release different things. So just understand that the connection piece is just making you aware of whatever needs to be shed. So that's going to be the next step of this. And all of this is highlighting that as well. What are you doing or what do you have in your life that's not in alignment with self-love? What do you have in your life, like in terms of communication, people saying different things to you or having friends that you gossip with or don't feel like the conversation is something that you actively want to create? Take inventory of these things as you ground within yourself. Now let's see your external world. 3 of Cups. So this is friendship. Let me keep reading because I kind of want to get the full picture. Then we have the Devil. Bad habits, temptation. That's kind of what I was talking about just a moment ago as far as who do you have in your space that isn't really flipping the bill for what you want to be moving into. And then we also have the Ten of Pentacles. Focus on the long term. So this makes a lot of sense. You probably have some bad habits, some stuff in your space, some things that don't feel good and aren't really gelling with you in this moment. And I think it has to do with the company that you have around you. So in the external, maybe there's some people that no longer resonate with you and you're considering moving on from. But the best perspective that you can take here is the Ten of Pentacles, in the sense that this is actually what is going to set you up long term. It's not just about the short term gains from that. It's about the long term picture of, if you're having conversations that you don't want to have or that don't feel good, what's that going to be like in 10 years? You know, zoom out a little bit more and ask yourself if you need to make any adjustments from that place. I'm going to clarify the Devil. Nine of Stars, Nine of Pentacles. I think you've done enough work to where you can probably see and understand where this isn't working anymore. Like, you've probably outgrown some of these behaviors, patterns, friendships, relationships. I mean, anything that's coming up. And so now it's kind of like, in order to get that fruits of your labor that you have on the other side of this temptation and bad habit, that's what the Nine of Stars is pointing out. You can gain a lot more if you understand that there are things that are constricting and confining you. That's what's going to set you up long term for whatever it is that you're trying to get, make happen, move into, whatever the next stage is for you. Now let's look at your internal world. So this is the emotional, the spiritual, the growth. You have Queen of Cups. This is either going to be you being really in touch with your emotions, or this can also be moodiness. Like, if you have some stuff that's unresolved and unhealed, this can be extra moody. So you might find that that's something you kind of want to pay attention to. The moodiness in itself isn't bad. It's just going to be highlighting something that you need to pay attention to. Anytime you're dealing with a symptom like that, or anything that's really throwing you off, you kind of want to flip the rock over and ask what's really going on here. And that's what I think the Queen of Cups might be reflecting to you. Right? That's another piece or another dimension that you can look at here. Are there people in your environment that are making you feel moody? Like, when you get done hanging out with him, you don't feel good. That's going to be the type of stuff worth paying attention to. And then we have the Nine of Swords. This is fear, anxiety, what if. And this is, it's workable. Like anything else, if you're scared to do something, this is just highlighting you can make the shift. You just have to work on the anxieties that are coming up. By work on, I don't mean smother them or suffocate them, but really figure out, is there something underneath that? Like, is the anxiety or the fear direct, or is it indirect? Is it stress related? Is it something where it's coming from insecurity or a lack of worthiness? I mean, there's a million reasons why we experience fear. So you just kind of want to look at what's going on with your emotional state, what's going on with your wounding, what's going on with your healing, what are all of the moving parts, and then make the fear make sense. And then from that place, getting connected is the solution. Diving into self-care is the solution to kind of undo that ball of knots that comes up whenever we're really afraid. And then we have Ten of Swords. Yep, release. So that's a perfect trajectory here. I'm going to clarify this. Two of Cups. Okay, so that is, I mean, that's as clear as it gets. I keep saying, like, there's connections that you're outgrowing. There's relationships that you seem to be outgrowing. The big question on the table for you, no pun intended, is what relationships, connections, and what quality of relationships are you bringing into your future? What are you bringing into the long term? How are you feeling in different environments, circumstances, situations, etc., etc.? Taking inventory of all of that is really going to help you understand what needs to go. And I want to be clear, this doesn't mean you let go of all your friends, but it could mean setting boundaries. It could mean not spending as much time with them. It could mean not spending as much time on the phone with them. You know, it's not extreme. It doesn't have to be. So you just have to take inventory of what is working or isn't working for you, and then what energy are you wanting to move forward with. And just knowing yourself really well. What are you tempted by? What are the negative feelings that are coming up? What are the bad habits that you have going on? And is that involved in your relationships, your friendships, your community at all? Because then in this space, it looks like you're doing a lot of clearing, breakdown, breakthrough in this area. Okay, let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to ask a question, ask for clarity, guidance, whatever it is that you need. Deep breath into the diaphragm. Card number 1, the Chariot, feeling out of control and like you're not moving in the direction that you are planning on. The nice thing about the Chariot, and I say this a lot, is that it's a sign of progress. It's just that the experience is a little bit like you're out of control. So it's an illusion. It's the illusion of, oh my God, I'm going to speed off this cliff, when in reality you're going in the direction that you need to. So the more you can kind of relax into the faith piece, the better off you're going to be. And then card number 2, we have the 2 of Pentacles, make a decision. I'm also getting the intuitive hit. The decision that is coming up here, or whatever you need to decide between, doesn't hold as much weight as you might be feeling it does in the moment. So reduce the stakes. And anytime you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, like if I don't make this right decision, everything's going to come crashing down. Once again, that's an illusion. Even if you make a decision and it goes south, it's not something that can't be undone, repaired, restored, changed, or evolve. So all of those options are also on the table. Just lower the stakes for yourself. And then card number 3, we have the 7 of Cups, lots of options. It seems that the 7 of Cups is just reminding you that you're not stuck. There's many places to go. It just might be that you're closing your eyes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this card literally has a face in the center that isn't looking. There's more accessible and available to you than you might feel. Remember, this, like the material world, is not an indication of reality. Reality is infinite, but our physical bodies interact with the material world. So you kind of have to look and think outside of the box to get true clarity. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for a bit, everybody. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. And as always, if you need to work with me one-on-one, you are more than welcome to book a session with me. I am available. So just go to onyxhealing.com or check out the link in the description box for more ways to work with me. I have a lot of good stuff coming up in the coming months. And I also offer more readings on my newsletter, just like little readings that you get sent to your inbox every Sunday. And so go sign up for my newsletter if you're interested in all sorts of content and more readings. And until next time, have a beautiful November, everybody, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.